Well, ladies and gentlemen, I found the key to passive income. You never gotta work again, bro. Just buy ORC stock. Ready to work. Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. We got another sponsored video, and if you want a sponsored video, you PayPal me, you Venmo me, or you Cash App me $50, see the pinned comment, and I'll make a video about whatever you want. I'll even dance shirtless for you and shake my butt a little bit. OnlyFans. So this sponsored video, I was asked to look at Orchard Island Capital, which is a mortgage real estate investment trust. What is a mortgage REIT? Well, I just made a video about another one. They borrow money and they use that to invest in mortgage loans, and they collect their profit on the difference between their interest expense from their borrowings and the interest income they generate from the mortgages they invest in. And what's been happening to mortgage REITs like ORC and all these other AG&C and all these other REITs? They've been getting clapped because borrowing costs have gone up significantly. So let's look at Orchard Island. Now, without even talking about this, first of all, the stock went up 4% in a day, which is better than VT, obviously. What do you notice about this company? Why, if you had to give one reason why you think people like this, tell me what you think it is. Oh, I'll just tell you right now. It's the dividend yield. 23%, almost 24% dividend yield. So when somebody sees this, they say, oh my God, OMG, that dividend yield is super high, and I can get 23% income. I pay $7.69, and I get $1.84 of dividends, right? Well, that's true, but you also have massive share price depreciation. This stock has been absolutely wrecked. Okay, and it's getting even more wrecked because of low or high interest rates. The Federal Reserve is killing this company because this company has to borrow money, and if their borrowing costs go up, they start to lose money. Now, once again, dividend yield is calculated based on historic dividends, not future dividends. So if you take the 1.84 of dividends, which is down here, it's the last 12 months of dividends, divide it by 7.69, you get 23.93%. That's how they calculate it. That's it. That is historic. That is not future. You could have a trailing dividend yield of 1,000,000%, and you could have a forward dividend yield of 0. So you have to think about, like, are you going to get dividends in the future? It's not what happened in the past. The yield it's almost irrelevant. Like, you should not look at the yield at all because it's a historic metric. The only time you should look at it, if you see a yield that high, I would have a lot of questions. That is an insanely high yield. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at these amazing dividends. So we can clearly see that there's some issues going on with the dividends. So the last two dividends announced are 12 cents per share. It pays dividends monthly. You're getting 12 cents per share. Before that, it was 16 cents. And before that, it was 23 cents. And before that, 27, 32. Do you notice a trend? They keep slashing the dividend, okay? Back in the day, it was 70 cents per share, 90 cents per share. Oh, my God. Look at the dividend. Yeah, you're getting a 23% historic yield, but the dividend itself is collapsing, okay? This is an indication of trouble. This is not an indication of strength. Oh, we're doing so good. We're going to cut our dividend consistently over the last 10 years, okay? This thing is... And funny enough, it's such a joke. It's such a joke. Look who talks about it. Dividend Bull. 25,000 views 10 months ago. Adrian Stinkianeri, passive income investing. He's talked about this. I think he deleted all the videos on it, but I've heard from good sources that he's talked about this stock. All these clowns, they just look at the dividend yield. Stop looking at the dividend yield. Understand what you're buying. Let's look at this company's balance sheet. So we can see basically all their assets are in mortgage-backed securities. These are agency, I think mostly agency securities, that it's just a pool of mortgages. Mortgages get bundled together and they get traded, and the investors collect the interest and principal from the mortgage banks. That's a mortgage-backed security, okay? And the profit comes from the interest. So you got that. Liabilities are repurchase agreements, which is basically it's like a contract where somebody gives you money and then you got to give it back after a little bit of time and pay a little bit more than they gave you, and that difference is the interest. That's basically what a repo is in like a very simple form. Obviously, they can get more complicated. I'm not a repo expert, but that's what I learned when I was a financial advisor studying for the Series 7. Repo agreements, bro. So ORC is borrowing money, and they're investing in mortgage-backed securities. And as interest rates go up, that really hurts, okay? So let's look at their income statement. This is all you need to see right here. Look at the net interest. It's negative. They had so last year they had 80,000 of positive net interest, but massive realized losses. This year they have negative interest income, okay? They are collecting less interest than they're spending on interest. Now, if the market changes, okay, the Fed cuts rates, blah, 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 blah. Okay, maybe this spread will change. At some point, it probably will. But I can tell you that for now, they're losing money, and I can tell you they've been cutting their dividend consistently over and over and over again. And on top of that, their freaking management fees are going up. Like, oh yeah, we're going to have negative interest income, and we're going to increase our management fees. So it's, oh, guys, stop buying. Like, I don't get it, man. Like, why do y'all buy these things? I really want to understand why you guys buy these things. You can see they're issuing stock. They just, in the last 9 months of 2023, they collected $159 million from stock issuance. And they basically used that money to, I guess, invest and probably keep their cash balance at a decent level. I would not, if things continue, I would be worried about the dividend. I mean, is this dividend going to go to zero at some point? Maybe. This company is not doing well. So I'll leave you at that. Let me know your thoughts. Are you going to buy ORC? Ready to work. Okie dokie. Or are you going to maybe buy a Vanguard Total World Stock Market Index ETF in a tax advantage account? We'll see. Cheers.